Hey, Coach, EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Houston Texans. This is taken at the 3. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line.
At their own 23-yard line.
Reset. 19. Hot 44. Come on. Tighten up. Tighten up. No time now.
A first carry now for Jordan Howard. Only a couple for him there on the game's first play, and it's second down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8.
Here we go. Check the hot read. He's checking. Crash.
Watson now to throw. Got an open man. It's Michael Gallup. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
3rd and 2, Watson. He's got Burton here. And he gets it to the 34, good enough for the first. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. From the gun, here's Watson. Dancing to his left. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Leonard Floyd, the old Georgia Bulldog, fighting his way into the backfield.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes. And just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if they're going to have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now, the quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games.
Now, following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. Now Watson. And that going to be incomplete. A lot of contact, no call, and it's 3rd down.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Out of the gun, Watson. And that is incomplete. That's a pretty good opening possession defensively.
And you know the goal is to make something of a statement, especially on the road with your first defensive possession, isn't it? Go right out and establish yourselves and let them know this is going to be tough going all game long.
And this is going to hit the goal line and continue on into the end zone for a touchback. On the ground, this is Leonard Fournette. And he will lose yardage on the play. Back at his own 19-yard line. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down. It's probably a pretty good sign here on the opening drive if your guys from the secondary are coming up and spilling things in the backfield.
How about the adrenaline and aggressiveness that led his eyes to the backfield to run up there and make that tackle, setting a tone early for his defense.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Now Leonard Fournette. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
He's going to loft it deep right sideline. A battle for it, and it's intercepted. Tre'Davious White with a pick, and his guys will take over at the 25-yard line. Well, certainly not how he wanted to start his night. First throw of the game, an INT.
Yeah, it's not easy, but he's got to try and wipe that one away from the memory banks. And let's face it, it's not often a quarterback and a defensive back have a lot in common. But one thing, because they have these individual type plays, they've got to have short memories, don't they? DB gets beat, wipe it away, quarterback throws a pick, has to do the same thing.
2 yards on the pickup.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. To throw is Watson. Man open, that's Kiki QT, complete. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon.
That's caught inside the 20. Watson to Hopkins for a huge hookup. 52 yards. Excellent execution, and now they're set up nicely.
Are they ever? Red zone? I wonder what the next play call is going to be because after a big play like that, a lot of teams like to use the momentum to launch another one.
Buying time. Oh, the ball is out. Watson lost it, and the Jags grab it. He's at the 50, 30, past the 20. And they will finally get him, but not until he's all the way down inside the 15-yard line. So the turnover forced, and a wonderful job on a big return.
And how about the convoy that got created to help him get all the way back upfield? I mean, that's the part that people miss on. That's practice. That's worked on. It doesn't just happen in a game and everyone rallies. They discuss it prior to, and everyone knows their role when they create a turnover like that.
This will be a 2-yard loss on the play, and it'll be 2nd and 12.
At the Texans' 16-yard line.
Ready. 70 ending. Check. Walk 54. Let's go, team.
From the gun, Jackson. That's to his running back, Leonard Fournette. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. It'll be a pickup of only a yard, and that's going to lead to a 3rd and 12.
Come on, set. Now the 54. Right 54. Get in the weight room.
Jackson from the shotgun. Oliver, the tight end, making the catch. And he'll be brought down with the 1st down and a late flag here, too. And he may get a few more tacked on for good measure. So now then, the penalty's got him set up with a 1st and goal. After the penalty, it's Fournette. And he'll take this into the end zone. Touchdown, Jacksonville. Leonard Fournette, his 2nd touchdown on the season, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Point after by Lambeau, up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. And Lambeau now, after the touchdown, he'll kick this one away. This is taken at the 3. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line.
Take over 1st and 10 at their own 26-yard line.
Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left.
More football.
We're only in November. But they would be a wild card team, and that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders.
That guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a two-game losing streak could have them out of the playoffs, so they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them. And he'll be taken down as that will take us to the end of the first quarter of play. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Now it's Watson. And an alley to run. The escapability in evidence there as that one good for 15 and a first.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the third one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. They run on first down as they get about 3. 2nd and 7 forthcoming. Miles Jack there to make the tackle.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Trying to force it to Hopkins, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 22.
I think that interception happened for 2 reasons. Quarterback gets outside the pocket and panics a little bit, and receiver doesn't make sure he's absolutely in an open spot. So there's a guy lurking, took the ball from him.
Yeah, so don't wave your arms, right, as a receiver if you're not wide open.
Got to know that you're open. Otherwise,
blitz coming, and down he goes. Jadeveon Clowney in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
After the sack on first down, Jackson. And he's going to be brought down by the face mask. Here come the flags. This is going to get him a first down. So they'll take the yardage and tack on 15 more for the face mask.
Talk about a play that absolutely costs you in the end. Just trying to do your job, right? Trying to get him on the ground. Next thing you know, they'll march off another 15 against your squad.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. Hey, right on cue, they set up the screen and complete it. And he'll be corralled out across midfield down to the 45. 11 yards there for Jacksonville and a first down as well.
When you run a screen pass really well, you got to like the look of it because so many parts come together to make it work well. The offensive linemen where they're faking people out, the back slipping out there, catching the football, then all of them going together as one unit downfield. A really nice pickup.
Jadeveon Clowney there on the stop.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Now the second down throw on target. And he's going to be taken down with another first down as the stop's made at the Texans' 35.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Now Fournette. And not much running room. Down to the 32. He was brought down by Kamu Grugier-Hill.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
And he's going to be taken down with another first down as the stop's made at the Texans' 21.
Well, it looked like a quick hitter, a 3-step drop, but when it's not there, what do? He elects to try and escape through the mass of bodies up the middle, and he does so and picks up positive yardage.
Jackson now. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up second down.
Brandon, looked like he had his hands on it for a moment, but let's face it, that was going to be a tough catch all the way because of the presence of the defense right there as he was trying to haul it in.
Yeah, nice job to force the incompletion. From the 21, it's 2nd and 10.
Hey, pick it up, defense. Let's go.
A shotgun give to Fournette. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on that one as it brings up a 3rd and 10.
So if you've been playing defense in this one, there's a little bit of the good and some bad because they did give up the touchdown run to him earlier but shut him down otherwise.
Outside of that, you're exactly right. I would say they've contained him very well. Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. More problems here on 3rd down. They've converted only once so far in this first half.
And you know as well as I do in this league, if you don't win on 3rd down, it makes it hard to win a ball game because then you're relying on your defense, you're relying on your special teams. You've got to get it done with your offensive unit.
So in the end, they had the ball for 10 plays, but the drive gets them 3, not 6.
Is it okay if I give credit to both sides on this one?
Absolutely.
All right, let's start defensively. They hung in there. 10-play drive, but they stiffened when they got close to the goal line, made them kick a field goal. And for the offense, 10-play drive. They might be a little disappointed they got a field goal, but they moved the ball down the field with dispatch and came away with points.
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. Nothing for them yet from an offensive standpoint, down 10-zip as they come up 1st and 10. Here's a throw to his running back. It's complete. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. Second quarter action, 1:56 remaining. Coming up in a couple of minutes, we'll get you to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. The coach will have stats and scores from earlier today in the NFL. And now a throw here secured by his running back out of the backfield. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3. That first down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. Here's Watson. Steps away to his left. And that is incomplete. They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down. And here comes throw number 1 for the backup QB. And he comes back with one complete. And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49. 10 yards there, good enough for a Texan first down. Boy, the evolution of the game and how these guys in plays like that can get out of the pocket, keep plays alive, it just makes things so much harder for defenses.
It really does, and we're talking about an era in the game where the quarterbacks are the most athletically gifted that we've seen in a bunch. I mean, when you talk about collectively, it's unbelievable. So their ability to move is practiced now. It's not necessarily, oh, he just took off and you guys figure it out. When he takes off, everyone knows where to go now. They know how to run routes, change things, make themselves presentable for the quarterback. That's a lot of time that they put in on it. It's not just your static 1, 2, 3. This is where the ball goes anymore.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 40 seconds remaining in this first half.
They were in the top 5 in sacks in the league coming into this one. That's their 3rd one in this game. Obviously, pass rush has been a strength of this team all year long.
And apparently they're not satisfied with top 5. They want to climb that ladder.
Yeah, I think it goes back to their offseason. They decided to make it a priority, and it's working out.
He's got his tight end, Burton. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. Now the Texans will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play.
Set. 60 yards. Hey, Sam on. Get it.
On first down, he'll drop to throw. He's going to go up top for the end zone. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's second down. I know he wants to get his team back in the game, but a 50-50 ball right there that maybe was a little questionable.
Yeah, he's pretty lucky to get that one back. I think that sometimes these quarterbacks play with a lot of confidence that borders on arrogance, and that can put your team in some Dutch.
Yeah, especially maybe want to look at some safer routes after the interception he had that ended their last drive. Now a second down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete. Michael Gallup, that's who he was looking for. And now it's third down.
And 10 yards to go.
This is it. UAT. Watch the out. First thing. Showing up. Showing up. Check 99.
To the air yet again. Watson being chased out left. And he's got the completion to Hopkins. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. The Texans going to signal for their third and final timeout as they stop it with 11 seconds remaining in this first half. First and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. Watson looks to throw again. And that is caught. Touchdown, Texans. Michael Gallup in the final seconds of the first half as they are now on the board here in the first half. The way this one was going, you just got the sense they needed something before half. They've at least got something on the board now. Still trailing, but a good sign.
That takes me back to our preseason tour of NFL camps. You remember we talked with that one coach who said his emphasis this year was scoring in the last 2 minutes of a half, heading into the locker room. This hits it right there. Take that momentum, take that good feeling, and take the locker room, regroup, and start over. They got it here.
They did indeed, and a lot of football, full half to be played.
Here we go.
At their own 20-yard line.
Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. And, you know, certainly a lot of football left to be played. We're not into December yet, but right now where we stand, they're first place in their division. Looking good, looking to be a threat come January.
And let's think about what every team has in their goals, all right? Number one goal is what? Make the playoffs. Number two goal is win your division. Number three goal, and the biggest goal, I think, is to be the highest seed possible that you can be heading into the playoffs so that you can have as many home games as possible to try and get you to the Super Bowl.
And right now fighting for every win possible to try to at least secure home field for the wild card and or divisional round. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line.
At their own 27-yard line.
Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had the ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ball game.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
Well, the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a third down. The last completion actually lost a yard, so now they'll need to convert on third down. From the gun, it's Jackson. Oh, a battle for it here, and this will be caught. A big one there for the Jags. 18 yards, first down.
A gain of 18 on the play. First down, Jacksonville.
Here we go. Here we go. 18 on it. 18 on it. Check, check.
Fournette, a first down carry. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
Off the play fake, here's Jackson. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there, trying to take a shot, but it's third down. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
That one complete to D.D. Westbrook. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Here's Jackson. Going to throw again. Looking long for Westbrook. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long way out there, but it'll be third down.
We've seen good cover skills on display throughout this game, really from both teams. And there's another nice example there of them making it difficult to complete a pass.
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Burke. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. That one a pickup of 15 for Jacksonville. This quarterback now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. On the draw, this is Fournette. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
Here we go. Hey, hold on. Check, check. Walk 54. Walk 54. Get that quarterback. And on the go.
On 2nd and 11 now. Jackson, he's going to loft one deep left side here. And he almost had it defensively. Could have been a game changer there in this second half. Instead, it's 3rd down.
Well, he'd been targeted quite a bit on this drive, and finally I think the guys on the defensive side, they said no more. They slapped the double coverage on him, made it very tough for him to get the ball.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Jackson. Oh, he's going to go for it all. Oh, it's a touchdown if he holds on. Instead, it's 4th down.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
And this one is right down the middle. And the lead stretches to 6 here. It's 13-7. Well, looking at it from a defensive perspective, that keeps the deficit very, very manageable. You know, all things considered, not a bad job on the defensive side.
I would say that you've pointed out something pretty good right there, and that is you actually have both sides happy with that exchange. You know, happy in quotes, of course. One team, hey, we've kept it within range. The other side saying, hey, we put points on the board and did stretch out the lead. Let's see how this one turns out.
Yeah, still bottom line, though, 3 points for the opening drive of the third quarter. Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Back to throw, Watson. Eluding the pressure right. A nifty bit of scrambling there. 12 yards, Giants first down.
Well, that was man coverage. So once he decides to run with the football, there's no one to account for him, and he turns it into a nice gain.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
Let's go, D. Tighten up.
Now Howard. He's got the first down and more past midfield. And now off to the races down the right side. Touchdown, Houston. Jordan Howard hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season as his guys can now take the lead with the extra point. Fairbairn good with the extra point, and that will put them on top here in the third. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. This is taken at the 3. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted, and we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. From the 29, Jackson. This one caught by his tight end, Oliver. And he's brought down after a very nice gain. A gain there of 21 yards.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. That's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes. And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Throwing again on 2nd down, but this time it's incomplete.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8.
Let's make these babies cry.
Jackson will throw again. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Darnell Savage. And his guys are going to get the football at the 23-yard line.
And that's a great example of ball skills right there, partner. You and I do a lot of games, and I can't tell you how many guys look to run with the football before they've intercepted it. So that's a nice job of focusing on the task at hand and coming away with the interception.
Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at their own 23. Here's a run on 1st down that won't even get back to the line of scrimmage. He will lose a yard, 2nd and 11.
It's a loss of a yard. Brings up 2nd and 11.
Now this will probably be the last play of the quarter. 1 quarter remains here on a Sunday night. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. On 2nd and 11 now. Watson. Oh, look at that.
Oh, look at him turn.
And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. 17 yards on the catch and run. It's a first down.
Well, how about this aggressive approach? Got the lead, fourth quarter, continuing to throw the football. Are you thinking about Super Bowl 51? Atlanta had the lead against New England, and they ended up giving it up?
I was going to say don't say it, but you did say it.
I did, didn't I?
Yeah, anybody watching Atlanta, our apologies. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the fourth quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
The throw down the field, caught by his running back. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Jaguars' 36. Cool under pressure right there, escaping the pocket and finding what I think was not his primary target.
And some of these guys are just so comfortable getting outside of the pocket that they'll do it on purpose. It doesn't even need to be a breakdown. Just they move, and they know it affects the defense because a lot of times you get lost in coverage in the secondary, and I think you're exactly right. Wasn't his primary target. Found a secondary guy who sprang open, probably because of his movement out of the pocket.
The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4.
So don't say nothing. Shoot. Alert. Check. Lucky.
They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And they got half of what he needed there, 2 yards, and it'll bring up a 3rd and 2 more.
And this is why aggressive defensive coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
They'll try to run for it with Howard. And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. A 3-yard loss. 4th down now.
So where'd all that running room that he had in the first half go? Because it looks like it's drying up a little bit here. Someone made some adjustments, it appears, at least on this drive.
So they get the 3, but you wonder now, is that going to be enough?
Excellent question, because when I look at the smiles on that side of the field, they're a little tight, aren't they? If they had scored a touchdown there, those would be big half-moon grins right now because they'd feel a whole lot better about their position.
And a touchdown in the other direction, all of a sudden they're down. Fairbairn now following the made field goal. He'll send this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. Jackson. And connecting here with DJ Shark. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. That one, a first down pickup of 8.
Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes when they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way and it pops in the air. And sometimes you throw it so hard your receiver can't handle it, and he pops it up in the air for the defenders to grab as well.
But a moot point there as they were able to connect. So line of scrimmage still at 39 on 2nd and 10. Now Jackson to throw again. That one complete. He finds Shark. And he's going to be taken down with another first down as the stop's made at the Texans' 41-yard line. So a 1st and 10 now in Houston territory at the 41. And now he'll tuck it and run. And he's taken down inside the 30. The Jags picking up the first down there, a gain of 12.
A gain of 12. First down, Jacksonville.
Fourth quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a one-score game. So it's Jaguar football here as we welcome you back. They come up on a 1st and 10, desperately needing a score here on what could be their... And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game.
Exactly what they were looking for. They've been giving up yardage. They've been letting them drive right downfield, but they got a sack right there. How about that for a little bit of revenge?
So after the sack, here's 2nd and 14. Here's Jackson. He's going to let it fly. And he can't corral it. That would have wrapped it up if he'd been able to hold on. Instead, it brings up 3rd down. They took their shot for the end zone, almost cost him.
And he made the right play there, knocking it away. But, boy, it looked like he had a chance to come down with the football. And if he does that, this thing is over. Instead, he leaves him out there with another chance.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here. And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. Damon Harrison bringing in 341 pounds of power for the sack.
Partner, you absolutely cannot take a sack in that situation. Now, it's also 4th down.
Down 4 late. Got to go for it here on 4th down. They'll try and throw for it with Jackson. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. The man they call Snacks, Damon Harrison. And this Texans defense stands tall. Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. And this game not quite in hand yet. We'll likely see all 3 timeouts defensively and then reassess where we are. The Jaguars going to go ahead and use their first timeout as the clock shows 50 seconds to play here in quarter number 4. The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9.
Got to do better. Come on, QB.
Again, it's Howard. That's a gain of 4 here in the 4th quarter with them leading by 4 on the scoreboard. Now the Jags will use the 2nd of their timeouts as the clock stops here with 46 seconds left to play.
Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. Check 13, check 59.
On 3rd down, this is Howard. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And that's going to make it 4th down. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. Out of bounds as he appeared to be looking for the corner. He got it. They're going to mark this at the 4-yard line.
You hate to give the ball away here in the 4th quarter while you're just holding a slim lead. But that punt, absolutely ideal. They pin them inside the 5-yard line. They give their defense a really nice opportunity.
Throwing now is Jackson. And he can't hang on to it. That would have sealed it. Instead, 2nd down. So he's unable to complete it there, and just not the game that you would expect from him. He's been off the mark really start to finish.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what exactly is going on. Is he a little bit dinged up here, or is he just off just by a bit? Maybe he can get it back in this situation. He'll need to.
And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked up by Justin Reed.
And that one, it's going to hurt big time. You're in the 2-minute drill trying to get your guys down the field, and it's looking like they're going to go up just short, as this is definitely not his best throw. And it'll wind up being intercepted.
And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
So Houston going to come away here with the victory. And they were spurred on by a strong performance in that fourth quarter as they held their opponents off the scoreboard.
Everyone wants to pitch a shutout for the entire game, but when you throw one in the fourth quarter, that tells everyone that you're getting stronger and dominance is starting to take over.